What if the very heaviness you've been carrying isn't proof that you're broken, but a secret doorway into a higher frequency you've already stepped into? What if the confusion you feel, the strange sense that life no longer fits you the way it once did, isn't a sign of failure, but a cosmic initiation into a reality very few ever touch? And what if right now you are standing inside a hidden field, the quantum shift field, where only 1% of souls have begun to awaken, to live, to breathe? Take a deep breath. Let these questions sink in, because I want you to hear this. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not unraveling. What you are experiencing is the exact evidence that you are in the middle of a quantum-level recalibration. The rules of your old reality are dissolving, because your inner being has already said yes to a new frequency. You might feel restless, like you don't belong in conversations that once made sense, like time itself bends in odd ways, days moving too fast, or nights stretching endlessly. You might even feel a loneliness so sharp, it convinces you that no one could possibly understand what you're going through. But here's the secret. The loneliness is not abandonment. It is initiation. It is the universe creating space around you, so you can begin to hear your own frequency without distortion. Imagine this. A caterpillar dissolves into a soup of formlessness before it becomes a butterfly. It cannot carry its old body into the next stage. And neither can you. That dissolving, that in-between, feels terrifying, until you realize it is the mark of every great metamorphosis. Right now, your life may look like it's coming apart, but in truth, it is coming together on a level you cannot yet see. The structures, identities, and patterns that once defined you are being stripped away not to punish you, but to liberate you. You are stepping into the hidden field, a field where reality bends to consciousness, where manifestation accelerates, where synchronicity becomes the new language of life. Most people will never access it. Most will dismiss it, avoid it, or resist it. But you've already crossed the threshold. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel what you feel. So, I ask you again, what if your discomfort is not a sign of collapse, but the first undeniable evidence that you are already in the shift? Pause. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Feel your body. Feel the space around you. Listen not just with your ears, but with your cells. Because the words you are hearing are not just ideas, they are activations. They are reminders that you belong to that hidden 1%. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not unraveling. You are shifting, and the field has already claimed you. What you are moving through right now has a name. It is not chaos. It is not failure. It is not you losing your way. It is something far more sacred. I call it the in-between field. Some traditions have called it the dark night of the soul. Others have called it the void. Some mystics simply call it the womb of becoming. But here, in the language of quantum shift, we name it the in-between field. Why? Because it is not the end of your old reality, and it is not yet the beginning of the new. It is the sacred passageway that exists between worlds, a liminal space, a threshold, a quantum hallway where the walls seem invisible and time feels suspended. And I want you to know this. To find yourself in the in-between field is not ordinary. It is not random. It is not accidental. It means you have already said yes, whether consciously or silently, to evolution at the deepest level of your being. Think about it. You no longer feel at home in the life you used to inhabit. The conversations that once kept you comfortable now feel hollow. The identities you once wore with pride, your roles, your labels, even your dreams now feel too small for the truth you are becoming. This is not regression. This is expansion. The in-between field strips away illusions, sometimes violently, sometimes tenderly. It removes the scaffolding of false security so that you can stand inside the raw, unfiltered frequency of your becoming. It feels uncertain. It feels disorienting. But it is also the most honest place you can be. And here's the paradox. The in-between field feels like nothing, but it is pregnant with everything. It is like standing inside the pause between your inhale and your exhale. That tiny, fleeting moment when breath is neither entering nor leaving. It feels like stillness, but in that stillness, an entire universe of possibility is present. That is where you are. You may feel like your old life has dissolved, yet your new life has not appeared. You may feel like you're standing on a bridge that disappears into mist on both sides. You may even feel like your very identity has been stolen away. But the truth is, your identity is not gone, it is expanding. The field is stretching you wider than you've ever allowed yourself to be, wider than your mind can comprehend. And this expansion cannot be rushed. It cannot be forced. It cannot be controlled. You are being taught how to live in trust, not control. In surrender, not strategy. And that is why the in-between field can feel so challenging. Your mind craves certainty. Your ego craves answers. But the field is not designed to give you what your ego wants. It is designed to reveal who you truly are when everything else is stripped away. So, if you feel restless, if you feel like you're floating in a void without anchors, if you feel like nothing makes sense anymore, breathe. You are not failing. You are being initiated. Hear this. Only those who are ready to embody the new frequency are brought into the in-between field. You are not here by mistake. You are here because the universe knows you can hold this. It is a rare passage. Most people cling to the old world until the very end. They grip onto their identities, their stories, their illusions, even when life tries to free them. But you are one of the 1%. You are standing in the field between worlds. And here's the miracle. Once you recognize it, once you name it, the experience shifts. Because when you can say, this is not chaos, this is the in-between field, you move from fear to reverence. You realize that what felt like nothingness is actually sacred architecture. You realize that emptiness is not emptiness, it is spaciousness. And spaciousness is the soil where creation takes root. So let this phrase echo inside you. The in-between field. Say it silently. Whisper it to yourself. Let it become a mantra. Because the more you name it, the more you disarm the fear around it. This is not a void that will consume you. This is a womb that will rebirth you. And every moment you spend here is a moment of sacred preparation for the quantum leap you are already making. In the language of physics, there is a principle that mirrors exactly what you are moving through. Superposition. Superposition tells us that, at the quantum level, particles do not exist in one fixed state until they are observed. Instead, they exist in a shimmering field of possibilities, a cloud of probabilities, multiple realities overlapping in the same space, waiting for consciousness to choose. Imagine that for a moment. An electron is not just here or there, it is here and there, everywhere, all at once. It is not a single note, but an entire symphony of notes playing in the silence. It is potential embodied. And so are you. Right now, in the in-between field, you are in superposition. You are not fixed in one identity, one path, one reality. You are holding multiple futures inside your field, multiple timelines, multiple versions of you. This is why you feel the disorientation. Your old identity collapsed, but the new one has not yet crystallized. You are literally shimmering between worlds, like a quantum particle before observation. And here's the beauty. This is not weakness. This is raw creative power, because only in superposition can you access new frequencies. Only in superposition can you allow life to select for you the timeline that resonates with your deepest essence. When you try to force clarity too soon, when you try to grab an identity just to feel safe, you collapse the wave prematurely. You limit yourself to a smaller version of what is possible. But when you allow yourself to float, to breathe, to be in the shimmering cloud of not knowing, you remain available to the highest outcome. Pause and feel that. Can you sense that right now? Even if your mind feels lost, your field is alive with potential. Can you imagine your soul holding infinite versions of your future, infinite songs, infinite expressions, and waiting for the one that sings most true? That is the gift of superposition. It is not indecision. It is power in its purest form. And yet, most people cannot stand this space. They crave solidity. They crave the illusion of certainty. They will choose even a painful timeline just to escape the discomfort of potential. But you are braver than that. You are here, breathing through the field of possibilities, willing to remain in the shimmering unknown because you sense something greater is being born. Think of it like this. When light passes through a prism, it does not remain a single color. It explodes into a rainbow of possibilities. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all hidden within what seemed like just one beam. That is superposition. And you, right now, are that rainbow. You may not know which color will become your new life, but every color is alive inside you, shimmering, waiting. The in-between field is your prism, your consciousness is the observer, and your willingness to wait, to trust, to allow, that is what determines whether you will collapse into the limited or expand into the infinite. Let yourself feel this. You are not stuck. You are suspended, and suspension is sacred. Your mind may scream, but I need answers, I need clarity, I need to know who I am. Yet your soul whispers, beloved, clarity is already forming. Trust the shimmering, trust the pause, trust the field. And this is why so many spiritual traditions speak of surrender. Because surrender keeps you in superposition long enough for the highest timeline to reveal itself. So I ask you, what if your uncertainty is not the problem you think it is? What if it is the very sign that you are holding more possibilities than ever before? You are like the wave that has not yet collapsed. You are like the prism holding all colors of light. You are like the particle shimmering in infinite positions at once. And this is not weakness. This is your superpower. Feel into this truth. Your not knowing is proof of your expansion. Your disorientation is proof of your becoming. Your uncertainty is evidence that you are living in the shimmering potential of the quantum shift field. And only the rare few, the hidden 1%, will ever stand here long enough to realize it. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are in superposition. And that means every possibility is still alive for you. Let's pause here, because this is the moment that matters most. Up until now, you may have believed that the discomfort you feel, the restlessness, the heaviness, the confusion was proof that something had gone wrong, that you were slipping, regressing, unraveling. But what if that very discomfort is not the enemy, but the signal? What if the unease in your chest, the ache of uncertainty, the nights when your thoughts loop endlessly, are not signs of collapse, but undeniable indicators that expansion is happening inside you? I want you to hear this with every cell of your being. Your discomfort is not punishment. It is proof of growth. Think about the seed. Before it becomes a tree, it must split open. To the seed, that rupture feels like death. The shell breaks. The old form dissolves. If the seed had a mind, it would scream, I am breaking apart. I am losing everything I was. But to the larger truth, that breaking is the very evidence that life is emerging. You are that seed right now. Your shell is cracking. Your old form is dissolving. And it feels uncomfortable because you have mistaken the breaking for the end, when in truth it is the beginning. This is the paradox of awakening. It feels like falling apart, but it is actually falling together. It feels like dying, but it is actually birthing. Every tremor of unease is your soul saying, yes, I am expanding. Every wave of restlessness is your field stretching to hold more light. Every moment of confusion is your old map being erased, so a larger map can be drawn. So instead of resisting the discomfort, what if you welcomed it? What if you said to yourself, this heaviness I feel is evidence that my frequency is upgrading. This confusion I feel is the air between worlds. This ache I feel is the stretching of my wings before I even know I have them. That is the reframe. Discomfort is not a problem to solve. It is a signal to honor. You are not weak for feeling it. You are courageous for holding it. You are embodying the rare capacity to remain present in the fire of transformation without running back to the safety of the old. And when you reframe discomfort this way, something miraculous happens. The fear begins to soften. The resistance begins to melt. You stop asking, when will this end? And begin whispering, what is being born through me? You shift from dread to reverence. The same sensations are still there, the restlessness, the uncertainty, the void, but now they are no longer threats. They are teachers. They are invitations. They are evidence that your quantum shift is not only real, but alive inside you in this very moment. So, let this become your mantra. Discomfort is not collapse. Discomfort is expansion. Say it again. Feel it land. Let it echo in your cells. Because the truth is, if you felt nothing, you would not be changing. If you felt only comfort, it would mean you were still in the old shell, still repeating the same reality. The fact that you feel so much is the clearest sign that you are alive, awake, and already shifting. You are not unraveling, you are unfolding. You are not regressing, you are expanding. You are not ending. You are beginning. Every great breakthrough wears the mask of discomfort before it reveals itself as light. So breathe with it, lean into it, and know this. The more you allow yourself to honor the sensation, the faster it transforms from pain into power. The fire you are walking through is not here to burn you, it is here to refine you. And you, beloved, are strong enough to hold it. Now that you've seen the discomfort for what it truly is, not collapse, but expansion, let us soften into how you can walk through it. Because this journey is not about pushing harder, fixing yourself, or rushing to the end. The in-between field cannot be conquered. It can only be surrendered to, harmonized with, allowed. So let me guide you gently. The first invitation is simple. Breathe. Yes, that's it. Just breathe. Slow, deliberate, conscious breaths. Each inhale as if you are gathering yourself. Each exhale as if you are releasing the illusion that something is wrong. Breath is the bridge between your body and your field. When the mind loops in chaos, the breath is what brings you back to presence. As you breathe, notice the sensations in your body. The tightness in your chest, the flutter in your stomach, the heaviness in your limbs. Instead of running from these sensations, simply witness them, not to change them, not to fix them, just to say, I see you, I feel you. You are safe to be here, because the body is not the enemy. The body is the instrument, and when you witness it with compassion, it begins to harmonize with your expanding field. The second invitation, attune. Attune to the subtleties around you. Notice the way the light falls across the room, the quiet hum of the world when you stop and listen, the gentle pulse of your own heartbeat. Attuning means aligning yourself with the finer frequencies, the ones that are usually drowned out by the noise of the old world. When you attune, you begin to feel the in-between field, not as emptiness, but as presence. A living, breathing field surrounding you, holding you, guiding you. The third invitation, allow. Allow the emotions. Allow the tears if they rise. Allow the laughter that comes for no reason. Allow the silence, the boredom, the uncertainty. Allow yourself to not know. Allow yourself to not be ready. Because allowance is what keeps you open to the shimmering superposition of your becoming. When you resist, you collapse too soon. When you allow, you remain available to the highest frequency. The fourth invitation, harmonize. Harmonize your inner state with simple practices. Play music that opens your heart. Step outside and let the wind touch your skin. Speak softly to yourself when the inner critic shouts. These are not trivial acts, they are frequency shifters. They tune your body and mind to resonance with the field you are entering. Remember, the in-between field is not a punishment chamber. It is a sacred space of gestation. And like every gestation, it requires gentleness. A seed is never forced to sprout faster. A womb is never rushed. Life unfolds in its own rhythm. So too will you. You don't have to push, you don't have to chase, you don't have to fix. Instead, breathe, attune, allow, harmonize, witness. Let these words be like a soft hand on your back, guiding you through the mist. Breathe, and you return to yourself. Attune, and you remember the field is alive. Allow, and you remain open to the infinite. Harmonize, and your body becomes a vessel for light. Do this not once, not as a performance, but as a way of living through the in-between. And soon, you will discover that the heaviness begins to shift, not because you forced it away, but because you allowed it to transmute. You will notice moments of quiet joy in the middle of the void, a sudden peace between waves of confusion, a glimpse of light through the cracks. This is how you move through the discomfort, not by force, but by presence. And every moment you choose presence, you deepen your capacity to hold the frequency of your new life. Because the truth is, the new reality you are stepping into cannot be entered through effort. It can only be entered through alignment. So be gentle, be patient, be present, and trust that each breath, each small act of allowance, is preparing you to meet the quantum leap already unfolding within you. You've learned to breathe, to attune, to allow. Now let's widen the lens and bring in another quantum mirror for what you're experiencing. If superposition is the field of all possibilities, then the next step in the process is something physicists call decoherence. At first, particles exist in that shimmering state of endless potential. But the moment they begin interacting with their environment, the possibilities narrow. The field of infinite choices collapses into one coherent reality. Decoherence is the bridge between the quantum cloud and the solid world we experience. And doesn't that sound familiar? Think of where you are. For weeks, months, maybe even years, you have been holding multiple possibilities inside you. The old life dissolving, the new life not yet visible. You've been shimmering in superposition. But slowly, through your breath, through your allowance, through your presence, you are beginning to cohere, to stabilize, to become the new frequency you've been carrying all along. Decoherence is not about losing options. It is about crystallizing alignment. Imagine a tuning fork. When it vibrates alone, its sound is diffuse, barely noticeable. But when another tuning fork of the same pitch is brought near, suddenly they resonate together. The sound grows stronger, clearer, undeniable. That is coherence. That is what is happening inside you. Your field has been shimmering with infinite timelines. But as you breathe, attune, allow, harmonize, one frequency grows louder than the rest. One path begins to sing above the noise. One version of you begins to solidify into reality. This is decoherence, not the loss of potential, but the anchoring of truth. Now, let's take it even deeper. Physics also points us toward the zero-point field, a vast, invisible ocean of energy that exists even in complete emptiness. Scientists once thought that empty space was nothing, but in truth, it is everything. A seething, vibrant field from which all creation emerges. And here is the metaphor. Your void is not empty. It is the 0 point of your becoming, the stillness you feel, the silence that unnerves you, the space where nothing seems to happen. This is not a dead zone. It is the womb of infinite possibility. It is your personal 0 point field. From here, everything new can emerge. The old self collapses. The new self has not yet formed. But in that space, pure energy hums, waiting for direction, waiting for your resonance, waiting for your choice. So, let's bring these two concepts together. Superposition showed you that you were shimmering with infinite potential. Decoherence shows you that one path is beginning to crystallize. The 0 point field shows you that what feels like nothing is actually the fertile ground of everything. This is the alchemy of transformation. You are not just drifting. You are participating in the most intimate dance with reality itself. You are both particle and wave, both void and form, both silence and symphony. And here's the secret most never realize. The discomfort you feel in the in-between field is not because you are lost, it's because your frequency is stabilizing. Your field is aligning with the 0 point energy of your next self. Yes, it feels strange. Yes, it feels empty. But emptiness is only the mind's label. In truth, it is fullness in disguise. So the next time you feel the void, I want you to imagine this. Beneath your feet is not an abyss, but an ocean of energy. A living, breathing field humming with infinite possibility. Every breath you take stirs the waters. Every moment of presence shapes the waves. And slowly, silently, a new coherence is forming within you. That is the reality of your process. That is the miracle of the field. You are not abandoned in emptiness. You are standing in the 0 point womb of creation. And soon, coherence will carry you into the timeline that has been waiting for you all along. Now let's reframe again, because your mind will try to trick you here. There will be moments when you feel like you are sliding backward. Times when the old patterns return with surprising force. Days when you catch yourself thinking, I thought I was past this. Why am I back here again? But what if I told you, you are not going backward at all? What feels like regression is actually proof that your field is integrating. Let me explain. When a rocket launches into space, it does not rise in a straight, effortless line. It shakes. It resists. Gravity pulls with all its strength. The engines roar and burn. For a moment, it seems like the rocket might collapse under its own pressure. But the trembling, the resistance, the violent shaking, these are not signs of failure. They are the very proof that the rocket is breaking free. That is what is happening to you. The old patterns that resurface are not chains pulling you backward. They are simply fragments rising up for final release. They appear so you can see them clearly, so you can meet them with new awareness, so you can let them dissolve in the higher frequency you now hold. You are not trapped. You are clearing. You are not regressing. You are refining. This is why sometimes the same wound or fear returns again and again. It is not because you failed to heal it the first time. It is because each time you rise into a new layer of consciousness, the wound presents itself at that layer to be healed again, more deeply, more completely. Think of it like climbing a spiral staircase. From the outside, it may look like you're circling back to the same spot. But you are always higher than before, always expanding, always ascending. So, when the old patterns appear, do not despair. Do not say, "I'm back where I started." Instead, whisper to yourself, "I am revisiting this from a higher frequency. This is proof that I am progressing." This is the reframe. What feels like regression is actually integration. Your system is weaving the new frequency into every cell, every thought, every habit. And sometimes that weaving pulls the old threads to the surface so they can finally be replaced. Yes, it feels messy. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. But it is the sacred messiness of transformation. Like a river carving new paths through stone, your energy is carving new channels through your being. The water may swirl, may crash, may stir up old debris, but the river is always moving forward. Always. So, the next time you feel the pull of an old pattern, pause. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening again?" ask, "What deeper integration is happening here?" Because I promise you, you are not back at the beginning. You are spiraling upward. Each challenge you face now is not the same challenge as before. It is the echo of it, appearing at a new octave. And every time you face it, you transmute more, you embody more, you rise more. Let this truth land. You are not falling back. You are moving deeper in. You are not losing progress. You are embodying progress. You are not unraveling. You are weaving a stronger fabric of self. So, let the moments of doubt be your reminders. Let the resurfacing wounds be your proof. Because if you were truly regressing, you would not even have the awareness to notice. The fact that you see it, feel it, name it, that is progress. That is awakening. You are not who you were yesterday. And tomorrow, you will not be who you are today. That is the spiral. That is the shift. That is the hidden 1% path you are already walking. Now that you've seen regression for what it truly is, progress in disguise, let's talk about how to navigate these moments with grace. Because when the old patterns rise, your instinct may be to fight harder, push stronger, fix faster. But listen closely. Forcing is the language of the old self. Alignment is the language of the new. This is where so many get trapped. They feel discomfort and immediately rush to do something about it. They hustle to change their energy. They push to manifest faster. They scramble to fix what feels broken. But the more they force, the more resistance they create. It's like wrestling with quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. So let's soften. Let's create a new way of responding. The first don't is this: don't hustle. You cannot rush your quantum emergence. The in-between field is timeless. It doesn't operate on clocks and calendars. When you try to push it, you only create tension in your own field. The first do is this: be still. Stillness is not laziness. Stillness is active participation with the field. In stillness, you become porous, receptive. You let the 0-point field hum through you. You stop grabbing and start receiving. The second, don't force clarity. Your mind will beg for answers, definitions, labels. But clarity is not something you can wrench from the field. When you force it, you collapse into the smaller timeline, the one that soothes the ego, but starves the soul. The second, do, practice presence. Presence doesn't mean knowing what's next. Presence means showing up for this moment, for the breath in your chest, the sensations in your body, the light in the room, the sound of my words. Presence is the portal. When you are present, you are in the field where the new timeline forms. The third, don't try to fix yourself. You are not broken. You do not need repair. The moment you think you must fix yourself, you reinforce the illusion that something is wrong. The third, do, align. Alignment is gentle. It is about tuning yourself, not repairing yourself. Like turning a dial on a radio until the signal comes through clearly. Alignment means noticing when you are in fear, in force, in hustle, and gently turning the dial back to stillness, presence, trust. This is how you walk the in-between. Not by fighting, not by forcing, but by leaning into the softness of stillness, presence, alignment, and the more you choose this, the more you realize that the field itself begins to carry you. You no longer have to push the river. You realize the river is flowing, and your only task is to float in harmony with it. So let me give you a simple practice. When you notice yourself forcing, pause, place a hand on your heart, breathe slowly, whisper softly, I release the hustle, I return to stillness, I choose presence, I align. Feel the tension soften, feel your body unclench, feel the field around you shift, because it will. This is not weakness, this is mastery. It takes far more courage to be still in the void than to scramble for false certainty. It takes far more strength to trust presence than to cling to control. It takes far more wisdom to align than to fix. You are not here to build your new life through effort. You are here to allow your new life to crystallize through alignment. So each time the mind screams, do something, fix this, hurry up, smile, thank it, and then gently remind yourself, I am not here to force, I am here to align. And in that moment, the field relaxes around you. Possibility remains open. The higher frequency continues to weave itself into your being. Stillness, presence, alignment. This is how you cross the bridge. Now we rise. Because everything you've walked through, the discomfort, the void, the shimmering of possibilities, the return of old patterns, the call to stillness has been building toward this moment. The moment you realize, you are not unraveling, you are gathering momentum. Feel that truth in your body. Every wave of confusion was not evidence of collapse, it was fuel. Every ache of uncertainty was not emptiness, it was the stretching of your field to hold more light. Every time you softened into stillness, you were not pausing, you were accelerating. Do you see it? The paradox that has been hiding in plain sight? What feels like slowing down is actually the quantum slingshot. Like an arrow being drawn back, the tension you feel is not keeping you stuck, it is preparing your leap. The deeper the pull, the greater the flight. You are being stretched because you are meant to soar farther than you can currently imagine. Pause, and let that land. Right now, you are not collapsing. You are coiling, gathering, compressing into the moment before expansion. Your entire field is winding energy, pulling from the 0 point, harmonizing with coherence, aligning with the timeline that has always been waiting for you. And when the release comes, because it will, you will not simply step forward, you will launch. This is the truth the hidden 1% understands. The void is not an ending, it is a launch pad. You have already felt it, haven't you? Those flickers of synchronicity, the sudden clarity that arrives in a dream, or while you're walking, or in the middle of ordinary silence. Those glimpses are the cracks of light breaking through, signs that the field is alive, proof that momentum is building. You are closer than you realize. And when your new reality arrives, you will look back at these days not with regret, not with fear, but with reverence. You will see that the nights of heaviness, the days of uncertainty, were the sacred training grounds that prepared your nervous system, your mind, your spirit to hold the brilliance of the leap. Without the void, you could not have soared. Without the stillness, you could not have carried the light. Without the discomfort, you could not have been refined into the one who is ready. So now, let your heart lift. Feel the power gathering in your chest. Feel the momentum humming in your cells. You are not falling apart. You are rising beyond recognition. And when the wave crests, and it will, you will look around and realize that you are living inside the quantum shift field. That synchronicity is your new language. That manifestation is no longer something you do, but the natural expression of who you are. This is your climax. This is your acceleration. This is the proof that you are part of the hidden 1%. So stand tall in your in-between. Breathe into your void. Trust your momentum, because you are not weak. You are not behind. You are not unraveling. You are gathering force. And soon, beloved, you will fly. Take a breath with me now. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. Feel where you are. Not lost. Not broken. Not unraveling. But right here inside the quantum shift field, already carrying the frequency of your next self. This is the affirmation I want you to anchor into your body. I have already stepped into the new frequency. Say it softly. Whisper it in your heart. Let it echo through your cells. Because this is not a hope, not a wish, not a dream. This is truth. You are already living the shift. The discomfort, the void, the shimmering uncertainty, these were never signs of collapse. They were proof that your field said yes to the leap, yes to the expansion, yes to becoming more than you thought possible. You are not waiting for the shift. You are the shift. And every time you breathe with awareness, every time you allow instead of forcing, every time you trust presence over hustle, you strengthen the bridge into your new reality. So carry this knowing forward. You belong to the hidden 1%. You are one of the few who dared to surrender to the in-between, one of the few who chose alignment over control, stillness over hustle, truth over illusion. And because of that courage, your leap is already in motion. Now, before we close, let me offer you this. If your soul resonates with these words, if you feel the truth vibrating through you, let this be just the beginning. There are deeper teachings, more activations, more guidance waiting for you. You can continue this journey with me, whether through the next video, the free guide I've created for you, or the community where others walking this same path are gathering. Whatever calls to you most, follow that thread. It is your next breadcrumb. It is your next alignment. Remember, you've already crossed the threshold. You've already stepped into the frequency. You don't need to do more to prove it. You only need to keep attuning, keep allowing, keep aligning. Because the quantum shift is not coming. It's here. And so are you. So, as we close, place your hand on your heart one more time and whisper with me. I have already stepped into the new frequency, Ember. And from this moment forward, let every breath, every step, every choice be a celebration of that truth. Welcome, beloved. You are home in the shift field.